I found the first HYPIXEL player. Isso eu quero ver. Por que eu quero ver esse vídeo? Putz, a legenda não tá vindo? Mentira. Nossa, rapaziada. Quando meu vídeo sair no canal 2, aí vai estar a legenda ali pra galera do YouTube. Vocês aqui do chat, eu sei que vocês sabem inglês. Mano, eu quero ver porque assim, eu entrei no HYPIXEL no primeiro mês que lançou o jogo. Lançou o servidor. No mês que lançou o servidor, eu entrei. Eu quero saber quem é o primeiro jogador, mano. Se eu já vi esse cara alguma vez na época.
HYPIXEL is the biggest Minecraft server in the world. Over the years, tens of millions of players have joined the community, and it still maintains a player count of over 50,000 people every day. But before all the fame and popularity, HYPIXEL was just a small group of like-minded people who enjoyed...
Meu Deus, jogava essa merda pra caramba, mano. Você tem que ficar pegando os bichos e jogar no buraquinho pra ganhar ponto.
Building and playing
com a ficha.
adventure maps together.
E essa textura aqui era doideira.
Eventually their server went public, and thousands of people flooded into play. But one of them had to be the first. One of them got to experience the HYPIXEL network before anyone else in the entire world. And this is the story of how I found them.
Mas ele encontrou, ele falou com o cara também ou não?
So, where do we start?
Olha, foi um dos primeiros
In
players
late
brasileiros,
2012,
mano.
a guy named Simon HYPIXEL began working on the HYPIXEL Minecraft server. He obviously had to test out the server before he released it, so that would make him the first player. But what if someone else beat him to it? It sounds crazy, but what if Simon was just a little bit too slow, and there was another person he managed to get on just before him? What if he never even joined the main server and just worked in the background instead? Being the first player to join the largest Minecraft server is an insane accomplishment, and I was really sad that nobody knew who it was. But I was determined to find out. HYPIXEL released the server publicly just 4 days later, and there was a forum thread announcing it as soon as it happened.
Nossa.
The first 6 pages of replies were all on release day, and these guys would definitely be among the first people to join. So I collected all the usernames I could find and checked them on the HYPIXEL API to find out who logged in the earliest. I added a few more of Simon's threads in the same week, and eventually we had our answer. There were 22 people I could find who logged in on release day, and the earliest was J_. There were 22.
Vamos ver se tem algum nome que pode ser conhecido como brasileiro aqui. Não, nenhum.
People I could find who logged in on release day.
Gente, eu entrei no mês 4 de 2013. Eu entrei. Eu consigo mostrar pra vocês até no fórum.
The earliest was J_Sailor, known as Gaming God at the time, who joined at 5 minutes past midnight on April 13th.
Foi o primeiro.
There were 4 more people who joined before the server even released, and what I found next took this search to a whole new level.
Fodeu.
2 of the people I found logged in before Simon himself, and their names were Aloe111 and Lovro020.
Olha as skins, mano. As skins é muito foda, né, cara? Vai se fuder, velho. O primeiro foi o Aloe. But how? Porque ele conversava no fórum, abriu pra galera e, tipo assim, quando ele abriu com um sistema novo, com o servidor para o público, né? Porque realmente ele usava um privado teste, os caras entrou antes dele entrar, velho. O cara entrou... Ah, calma aí, o cara entrou um dia antes.
I couldn't find too much on Lovro, but it seems like both of these guys were staff members back in the day. Aloe showed up in lots of staff lists from the time, and Lovro posted a builder application thread for one of HYPIXEL's adventure maps. It seemed like these guys were beta testing the server before Simon even logged on, and that was the motivation I needed to continue the search. If 2 people managed to get on before Simon, surely there were lots more to find. So I started brainstorming and came up with my next idea, looking through the oldest members on the HYPIXEL forums. The forum...
É home nessa música, né? Pera.
Pixel forums.
Só pra ter certeza.
The forums existed months before the server itself, so there's a good chance some of these people would be...
É, veio antes, né, o fórum, caraca, verdade.
A good chance some of these people would be close with HYPIXEL, and probably among the first people to test the server as well. Luckily for us, every forum profile has an ID attached to it, and that ID goes up by 1 for every new member. Typing in 1 gets us to Simon as expected, but trying 2 brings us to double O negative, the first actual person to make a HYPIXEL forums account. They never linked their Minecraft account, but there is a player with the exact same name and a Minecon cape, whose first login was in 2022.
Ih, deve ser. Com Minecon cape, deve ser, velho.
I'm guessing they sold their account back then because their skin changed 3 different times, and their name MC profile got claimed on the same day. Being the first person to make a Hypixel forums account is pretty cool, but it doesn't really help us with our search. There were over 18,000 forums accounts before the server even opened. It would take us way too long to go through all of them. I decided to check through the first 100 profiles anyway, and even though I couldn't find most of their Minecraft accounts, we actually had a new record. This time, it was a YouTuber named Gameplayer HD, the 40th person to sign to the Hypixel forums. His first login date was April the 3rd.
YouTuber, velho. Cara, que louco. Gameplayer HD. Steven Alex vs Herobrine, Minecraft Machinima. Foda. I like it. Gameplayer HD. Become a chimp. É um macaquinho. Que legal. Com terno. Mano, eu gostei dessa profile picture. É muito clássica das versões, mano. Do dia 1 do Mine, velho. É literal, mano. Versão, mano. Porra. Foda. É o chimp, mano.
Player HD.
Become a chimp. Achei bonitinho, velho.
The 40th person to sign to the Hypixel forums. His first login date was April the 3rd, almost a week before Halloween. I also found one more login on April the 5th, which belonged to
Caralho!
April the 5th, which belonged to an ex-moderator named Mohora. So we knew there were 2 types of people beta testing the Hypixel server at the time.
Sim.
Staff members and YouTubers. It was going to be pretty difficult
YouTubers, o cara coloca Technoblade, meu Deus.
to get a complete list of staff who were active at the time.
Coloca o chimp,
But thanks to Raging Envy and their very helpful API, we can find a list of every single YouTube rank who's ever joined the server. There were over 3,000 of them to go through, so I made a script, bought myself some proxies, and got to work.
Mano, será que ele tem a lista aí embaixo pra eu ver eu? Mano, tá, porque meu nick vai aparecer aqui em algum momento, velho, se ele deixar até o final. Ah, mas ele não vai deixar tudo. Meu Deus do céu, olha o ITMG. George not found, cala a boca. Nossa, olha quem tá aqui. Qual que eu vou falar na maior tranquilidade. O Steeler. Roubador número 1. Calma aí, velho. Nossa, calma aí. Qual que é o número dele? Oh, ele é antigo, tá? $360. Ah, não, mas tá... Ah, tá. Não acho aqui, nem fudendo. Não vai aparecer o meu, nem fudendo. Nossa, é muito youtuber, velho. Purple. Depois vocês dão uma olhada nesse vídeo e ver se aparece o meu aqui, porque eu não... Dá não.
A few minutes later, the checking was done, and Gameplayer
dor de cabeça.
HD was right at the top of our list. Except there was something very interesting about his login date. 2 other YouTubers, Exploding TNT and
Porra, Exploding TNT é um monstro!
Logged in at the exact same second as Gameplayer HD.
Caralho, então os caras estavam em conversa lá privada já com o Simon.
HD. This was as close as I was gonna get, and the fact that all 3 of them were the same made me think I'd found the earliest possible login date.
Esse cara entrou em call lá com o Simon e, mano, testou o servidor com ele.
April 3rd of 2013, but I needed a way to confirm it. A way to be 100% sure that these 3 YouTubers were the first people to set foot into Hypixel. Luckily, I had one more trick up my sleeve, but I was gonna need a bit of help from someone. Let me introduce you to Yuno. He spent the last 5 years of his life collecting information on over 80 million Minecraft players, and I knew his data could help me. One of his databases was a list of every single person who's ever connected to the Hypixel network, and this was all I needed to finish our search for good.
Caralho, que doido.
I brought him my findings and waited patiently for a few hours, until I got a notification.
Yo. I got the data.
Oh?
You're not gonna believe what I found.
What I saw next was shocking. Right above Gameplayer HD, there was one more player whose name I'd never seen before. They weren't a YouTuber or anyone I'd heard of. In fact, they looked like a completely normal player who barely even touched the server. And even more surprising was their login date. They somehow joined over 2 days before the YouTubers. And their name was Dr. Gumby.
Nossa, mas esse cara, quem é esse cara? Eu não manjo. Ele virou youtuber, esse cara, hein? Ó, a skin dele é bonita. Ó, a skin de atual. Ele joga atualmente. Olha, dia 1.
We finally had our answer. On April 1st of 2013, Dr. Gumby was the first person ever to join the HYPIXEL server. Over the coming years, millions would follow in his footsteps, but this is where it all started. Our search was almost over, but who was this guy, and how did he manage to join so early?
Então.
A quick search on the
Pô, a skin dele é da hora, velho.
brought me to this profile, and it seems like someone broke into his Minecraft account in 2016. Instead of realizing they just stole the first account to ever play HYPIXEL, they decided to try taking his MVP Plus rank instead, without much success. Looking through the forums a bit deeper, I found an old thread by Simon looking for map builders, and Dr. Gumby was right there in the replies. On his actual forums account. I also found an interview with IRAP, leader of HYPIXEL's build team at the time, and Gumby was also mentioned in a list of HYPIXEL's builders. So it looks like Simon liked his work back then, hired him as a builder, and gave him early access to the server before anyone else.
Ô, pode falar um bagulho aqui de verdade? Se essa skin é dele na época, era 2013, era óbvio que esse cara era um monstro de construção, velho. Porque se essa skin ele fez, o design dessa skin pra 2013, é um cara que manja muito, velho. Esse cara provavelmente sabia construir pra caralho. Foda, mano.
Gumby was right there in the replies.
Não, dá pra saber, mano, se o Simon, mano...
Simon his actual...
Olha isso, velho. Pra 2013, o nível de qualidade de skin de pixel aqui é muito pica, mano.
Forums account. I also found an interview with IRAP, leader of HYPIXEL's build team at the time, and Gumby was also mentioned in a list of HYPIXEL's builders. So it looks like Simon liked his work back then, hired him as a builder, and gave him early access to the server before anyone else. I wish I could have included my own interview with Gumby as part of this video, but sadly he hasn't replied to any of my attempts to contact him. If anyone watching this knows where to find him, please leave a comment. I'd love to make a second part to this video. And that's the story of how I found the first HYPIXEL player. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did, and I'll see you all next time.
Dr. Gumby. Dr. Gumby. Pô, legal.